Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, cats are a creature on your desk right now. You can look over at it. It sees you. The cat sees you. Cats are a creature. Cats live inside people's houses, fit inside their houses. Rabbits do the same thing, but it's less gross. And that's why you should have a rabbit instead of a cat. I am not a cat person. I'm allergic to cats. However, I do not want bad things to happen to cats. And today's segment is about a bad thing, a very bad thing that has been happening to cats. We're going to be watching a video. It's like 20 minutes long. I'm going to be putting up the content warning banner here in just a few seconds so that you guys know to skip ahead. It's a content warning thing. There is not animal abuse, but harm to animals in this story. So just beware of that. I think somebody has the timer for it up for me. This isn't one of those where you should turn it off either. This is actually very much a PSA. You can go watch the original video. Let me double check it. So just so you know, if you do end up watching this video, content warning from about 3:51 to 4:04 minutes. I'm not going to be putting up the content warning border the entire time because it's not going to be a content warning the entire time. It's just for that so that you can skip that ahead of that and then still get some of the very important information that's going on. So right around 3:51, I'm going to be putting that up. But also, if you want to watch the original video, this is the deadly self-cleaning litter boxes that have flooded the market by one man, 5 cats. This is a 10-day-old video. We're going to be watching a little bit. It's mostly to spread awareness of this and for me to learn more. I saw these things. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, these are these automated litter boxes that the first time I saw it, I was just like, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There's something that's weird, right? Because mostly it's like, I don't think you should have moving parts around where your animals can like get comfortable and distracted. Because I have animals and they get comfortable and distracted. You can accidentally like kick them in shit, much less if something's actually like moving around that can't be apologetic or is made out of metal or hard plastic and stuff. So we're going to be watching this. Full content warning in a general sense. There's some animal harm discussed in this, but it's definitely one of those ones that you should just double check out, particularly if you're a cat owner or if you know cat owners who might have one of these things.
I've been using self-cleaning / automatic litter boxes since 2015. I've got 7 cats now, and they use 2 litter robot 4s. Unless you work from home all day, every day, it's impossible to keep manual boxes clean for them when you're not home, even with multiple boxes. Well, I suppose if you had like 10, maybe you could do that. Cats don't want to use dirty boxes, and these machines mean they don't have to anymore. Over the last 4 years, I've tested more than 20 different machines across 5 videos. Most of them haven't really been great and have had numerous issues, urine leaks being the most common problem. The things I talk about in every review, the most important factor for any self-cleaning automatic litter box is safety. If there's any risk to my cats, I will absolutely not use them, no matter how good the rest of it is. Of those 20 plus machines, I've only encountered 2 that I don't consider 100% safe. One of them actually states in the instruction manual that you shouldn't use it unsupervised, which...
Do not blindly trust the safety measure. LaviBot S will automatically halt its operation if a cat comes close to itself. Oh no. However, this function does not guarantee zero accident. Please do not blindly trust the safety measure and always be cautious while using it. Weight error may occur. This project measures weight of a cat to recognize which cat is using the product. However, it cannot distinguish between 2 or more cats with similar weights. There is a IoT tracker called LaviTag, and it helps LaviBot S distinguish among cats who use it. LaviBot S is designed for 1 to 2 cats use only. The product may not perform auto-cleaning properly and cause a serious contamination. Such condition may significantly shorten its lifespan or cause frequent malfunction. What in the absolute fuck is going... That's a horrible product. I got fucking litter boxes for my rabbits. It's just like, yeah, they piss in this fucking thing. Make sure to empty it out here and there. Like, okay. Fucking watch out. The litter box might kill your child.
which is pretty ridiculous, as that defeats the purpose of it. At the end of July, there were a couple of posts in my self-cleaning litter box discussion group, which shared a video on TikTok from a lady called Kylie J, who described how her automatic litter box killed her cat, a beautiful 1-year-old Siamese girl called...
Okay, I think this is sufficient. It's earlier, but we will put up the warning border here, okay? If you see red, skip ahead.
Moshi.
Yesterday morning, we woke up, me and my 2-year-old daughter, and I went to find my cat, and she was hanging from her litter box. It had closed on her neck, and her body was hanging out, and there was red stuff all over, like
Jesus.
everywhere. And she was gone.
She didn't say what machine it was, but she did clarify in a follow-up video that it wasn't an actual litter robot, but something she had bought off of Amazon. She didn't name it in this video either, but she did in the comments. Her videos started to go viral, but then just a few days after they were uploaded, they were gone. So I started to investigate. I needed to know if this was real and if potentially deadly machines were being sold. I'd already found the one that she named on Amazon a few days earlier, sold under the brand Amstoy.
Astonishingly, they even called it Litter Robot by Amstoy, using Whisker's Litter Robot font. This is absolutely not a litter robot, and it shows just how dodgy this company is.
In the review section, there was a photo of one...
This is like a serious issue with Amazon right now that a lot of people are pissed about. It's absolutely flooded with dog shit Chinese products that are not tested. They would not be legal in America. They are mass violations of trademark all throughout Amazon, and it really needs to be fucking cracked down on. Amazon used to be able to get some pretty decent stuff off Amazon, right? And still, if you're trying to buy a specific product that you know exists, you can probably get it, but I would not independently search for anything on Amazon anymore. China has no fucking quality controls as a country. They do not give a shit. They will put poison in baby food. They will put poison in metals that come in contact with your skin. They will sell you shit that will fucking catch fire and explode. They do not give a fuck. They are the most hardcore capitalists on earth. And they have flooded. Chinese producers have flooded Amazon with knockoff, rip-off, drop-shipped products. Sometimes you'll see the same fucking 10, 15 things being sold by a host of different individuals, right? And it's you're like, how the fuck? Why do I see the same product again and again and again and again and again? It's to the product. It's to the point now where if you are shopping on Amazon and you see a fake picture of something that doesn't look like it's real and it's put together, might not be a good idea to buy it. If it's anything that sounds like it wouldn't work, it won't. If it's anything where you're like, damn, I hope this doesn't catch fire, it will. If it's anything that goes inside your body, don't get it. Don't get it. Do not fucking get it. Because those motherfuckers do not give a shit. I don't know what the fuck is up with China. Maybe it's not like that for the people that live there. I don't give a fuck because I don't. But all of the stuff that comes out of their country is really getting worse and worse and worse over these last few years. And because there's no market checks on Amazon right now, because it's not, I don't know why. I think it just needs to be a legal thing that you cannot fucking sell bullshit, fake, made up products from drop shippers on that site, because that's not highly focused on by legislators and stuff. Amazon basically running roughshod over consumer rights and consumer protections. So if you try to buy electronic stuff, how sometimes you buy an electronics from fucking Walmart, Radio Shack back in the day, Radio Shack, and it has all those little symbols and numbers and stuff. It's according to the FCC, this fits all the guidelines for radiation, radio wave radiation and stuff, and the American electrical consumer whatever the fuck shows that this is actually rated at 20 amps. We've tested all of this stuff. Chinese shit does not get tested like that. It's trash products from a trash country that prey upon fucking poor people, both in their country and abroad, in a way that American companies can only fucking aspire to, which is why they buy from China. They don't have any of that. They don't double check. There's also products from other places, Pakistan, India, all over the place. But these things, if they are not from America, they're probably not tested, or at least some Western G5 country, G8, where there's a direct connection between the point of purchase and the legal action you can take against whoever sold it. If that doesn't exist, you're taking your life in your own hands. People will absolutely f your shit.
Covered in blood, stating that it had killed their cat. It wasn't under her name, but it had to be her machine. But after the TikTok videos,
Chinese food is so good though. Chinese food's
no
alright.
longer had the photo on it.
It can be very,
and was
very
now
good though.
positive. Then a few days later, the entire listing for the Abs toy was gone. There also
You do know that most of the electronics in the U.S. sells are made of Chinese parts, yes? Are you a fucking idiot? That's fine because of what I said. There's a direct connection between the end user and the first one. Remember all the like, hey, if you assemble it in America, there's all those like things where it's like, we tested this. Because once they put it together, they're responsible for assembly. They want to buy the dog shit parts. That's fine. The production arm in America that buys the Chinese parts and puts the shit together, they have to make sure that it won't explode. It's on them. That legal repercussion is within your ability to wield against them, right? You can do it. So anything that's assembled in America, that's pretty much fine. I wish we didn't buy shit from China. I want to economically starve that entire country. Hey, they could probably think the same way against me. We're both monsters. As far as the monsters go, I want me to win. That's pretty much it. But yeah, they sell dog products. The end user, you shouldn't buy end user products from China if you can avoid it at all. Like at all. Because if it doesn't go through an American testing or a local to you, whatever country you're in, testing phase that requires it be of a minimum quality, they won't meet it because they don't care, because they know that they're in China and the Chinese government will protect them from any legal repercussion that you could face. They're drop shippers. So they'll just sell you trash that will fucking literally harm you, and then there's nothing you can do about it.
a lot of very similar looking machines and different names on Amazon and Wayfair in the US, not just under the AMS toy name. After looking at the photos and videos of them, I saw a potential danger. So I had to buy one to see for myself. As Amazon and Wayfair in the UK don't sell any of them, I had to buy it from AliExpress, which I strongly recommend never doing. But I had no choice. It cost me £165 and
Someone
£80
said
for shipping.
So it said, ironically, AliExpress seems to be better regulated than Amazon somehow, or I just know what to avoid. Immediately cut to a scene of someone's buying some shit from AliExpress that kills
It had
cats.
no brand on it, and they didn't actually send me the one I ordered, which was identical to the AMS toy version, minus the ears. But what I received was still the same fundamental design, just with a bigger waste bin and no ears. It's one of the countless generic machines which are generally bought in bulk and branded by a random company. That's why you see so many identical ones online with different names. I immediately started testing it straight out the box as shipped and had my fears confirmed.
God damn.
I don't even know how I'm supposed to freak.
I think this is one of these
Do you think that
automatic
makes
litter
this
boxes
machine
I've seen before, where I'm like, why does it have a hole that shuts like that? What's going on here? So basically, it can't tell the difference between two cats or the cat and itself. So it has a just fucking goofy as shit. Who knows who fucking put it together? Chinese ass fucking weight sensor in it. You put weight on it, and if it doesn't know exactly, and I guess in this case it's just a lightweight cat, it just wham and gets you, and it just didn't stop. It was they're so tight. God.
Dangerous is that the opening for the entrance is a single piece of plastic which is attached to the base. And this is fine for a machine that rotates on the x-axis, but this rotates on the y-axis, so as it cycles, the opening closes. Because that piece of plastic opening is attached to the base and not split in two, if a cat gets caught in it, then there's no escape. If opening...
It moves pretty damn fast, too. That's the thing. I mean, I'm going to turn this down a little bit, but even...
plastic which is attached to the base. Now this is fine for a machine that rotates on the x-axis, but this rotates on the y-axis, so as it cycles, the opening closes. Because that piece of plastic opening is attached to the base and not split in two, if a cat gets caught in it, then there's no escape.
Yeah, that's just like, that's
escape.
fast.
Two, because that piece of plastic opening is attached to the base and not split in two, if a cat gets
Like-
caught in it,
Like those burst movements. You know, have you noticed that the other kitty litter machines don't move like that? They're not highly sporadic. So this cat sees it moving and then it stops. The cat can like look in, like what's going on, and then wah, and it just catches you, and it only goes in one fucking direction. That's crazy. That's insane. That's just like very bad. That's a terrible design. It's like it's actually almost like it's purposefully like purpose built to kill the fucking cat. I couldn't think of a better innocuous trap than something that gets the cat comfortable around it, and then when the cat gets like confused about these high-pitched whining noises. I know no cat has ever been confused or interested in a high-pitched whining electric noise and shifting sand noises. It's just most cats just completely like, oh, I'm not curious about that at all. Sticks its fucking head back in. The thing can't weight sensor because it's on the outside, but can still put itself in, and it like, oh, okay, and just gets you, and then you're done. The fact that the final gap is that skinny is actually kind of fucking crazy. Like, that's nuts, man. That's insanity. Like, this shouldn't exist. From a fundamental design perspective, like, it's not even like, oh, you're kind of pushing it far. Like, you know, this is like, this is at 200% speed. No, it's at normal right now. It was at 1.25 earlier, but you know, it's not like that big of a speed up. The suddenness of the movement, the non-gradual, like, so the, you know, the thing can like understand that it's going to continuously move, is crazy. Like, I would almost say that like a fucking psycho built this. It's kind of perfect. You know what I mean? It's like a fucking Stephen King version of a litter box.
then there's no escape. If the opening was split in two with the top part attached to
Oh,
the
bro, it
top
does look
section of the
intentional.
machine, like the Fergus, for example, then if a cat's
Like, yeah, do you see this? How it moves so steadily? I know he's probably gonna say the same thing, but when you watch this, the movements are very steady, and it's clear, you know, because cats aren't people. They don't have that big of an ability to understand the like series of reactions that are gonna happen. But it's also got this nice big gap. It's probably about a fucking cat's head size, with a cat going, ah, fuck, you know.
split in two with the top part attached to the top section of the machine, like the Fergus, for example, then if a cat somehow got caught in it, then the top would lift off and the cat could escape. I say somehow because it shouldn't get this far, as these machines have safety features which are designed to stop a cleaning cycle, stop the rotation if it detects a cat.
The difference, if you guys notice, when these are rotating on this y-axis relative to the entry point of it, is the other unit's entry box, the entry hole itself, where the pressure from the motor would be put onto the external shell. That rim on the outside is a single solid piece. So it's a perfect ring with a very close facing slider right there. Womp, that's going to get you, which is fucking madness, right? Because it's anything that gets caught in that ring is caught. This other one that he was showing, it comes off. So it can rotate all at once, and if the cat actually got caught, it would bump and pop the top of it off. Or even not just a cat, your literal child, you fucking trying to clean it, not paying attention. Anything that got stuck in it wouldn't get guillotined. Like that, it's has a very good guillotine there is crazy. And that's another thing that comes into, that is a part of the safety inspections that American products have to go through before they go to market. Have you ever seen pinch hazard? That's a pinch hazard. It's a literal cat. It's a cat litter box with a fucking pinch hazard, a fatal pinch hazard. You could kill the shit out of a baby with that fucking thing too. By the way, anything with a fucking pinch hazard before it goes to market has to be checked. If it has one of those, you're supposed to put those on the fucking boxes. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you can get caught by a mechanical piece that will pinch you and it could choke your ass to death. That's fucking nuts, man. That's one of the things that goes to. You notice that like none of these Chinese bags, they sell those little, they sell the good old fashioned dry cleaning bags, the fucking baby killers. Chinese fucking companies will send you some shit with like just baby killing all over it. Just suffocators. I don't know. Maybe they have to have it. I know they were killing all their firstborn fucking daughters for a while. It's like it's actually like a kindness over there. But it's a fucking plastic bag, right? That's really, really thin, which are the easiest ones to get stuck to your face if you aspirate. And if you're a baby and you can't get it off, it'll suffocate the fuck out of you, like instantaneously. All these fucking Chinese products come covered in that shit. Covered in it with no markings of like, watch out, choking hazard, baby they'll kill the baby. You'll kill the baby. And if they're in like, oh, this is what this means, this fucking, this fucking gibberish in Chinese on the side, of like, well, that's fucking worthless to me. This giant character does not mean choking hazard to me. It means literally fucking nothing.
The vast majority of machines that rotate on the y-axis during a cleaning cycle don't have a top, so there is no opening to close off. The machine that I bought does indeed have 3 safety features. There's the weight sensors, an infrared sensor on the front entrance that will pause the machine if a cat gets close to it or enters it. The third safety measure...
Yeah. Tyler, the job creators who invented this product are doing literally nothing wrong. It's the consumer's fault. All they have to do is not buy the product and the market would regulate itself. Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah. Job creators, my
is the pinch detector. And this is very important. What it does, if during the rotation it detects resistance, then it's supposed to stop and move back.
Bro, don't put Baby Yoda at risk.
During
like
these
that.
initial tests, I found that while the sensors would pause the cycling if the weight and or infrared sensors were triggered, this was only for a few seconds. Here, I'm pressing down, putting my weight on it, and covering the infrared sensor. Both indeed pause the cycling, briefly. It should not resume like this. If a cat put its paws on the front and peered in, it should wait until those triggered sensors were cleared. Instead, it just pauses briefly and resumes, which is making both sensors redundant.
Now the pinch detector should be getting a sense of resistance from here and reversing, but it doesn't. It carries on.
Oh! Oh, it got him!
God, that really hurts.
It fucking got him, dude! It fucking got him! It fucking got the guy! It fucking got it, dude! I didn't know you could convey panic using only hands so well. The fucking guy got by the fucking machine! It tried to eat the guy that's fucking looking at it! Holy fuck, buddy! They fucking tried to fucking eat the guy! It tried to fucking get him! He had to like try to eat. It's a grown man. You know how much stronger you are than a fucking 5-pound cat? He had to like literally fight his hand out. He couldn't get it out because the top doesn't come off. The guy got guillotined. It almost took the guy's hand. Fuck me. Holy shit. Holy fuck, man. What in the fuck? Dude, he was just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm just trying to demonstrate. Like, it just doesn't seem like this should work this way. And blah, blah, blah. Whomp! And it fucking bit him. Holy fuck. All I gotta say is, yeah, so he said, it's got a good motor. It's got a good fucking motor in it. God damn, dude. Did you see him having to pull? It's just trying to turn a fucking barrel. It got him like a fucking 1/4 horsepower. He was locked into it. Something will die, like, if you keep using this shit. That is insanity.
In my hand, the marks. I was able to free myself, but that really hurts.
The inside rim of the plastic opening is actually quite sharp too, so that combined with the force and the 3 safety measures all failing to do their job.
This piece that needs no fucking sharp parts on it that's supposed to be smooth is also just sharp. What in the fuck, man?
Made this machine incredibly dangerous.
Oh, it just keeps going. Oh, that's nuts. So if you guys remember before, when it had the stall cycle and it kept pushing through, right? And then it bit him. if he wouldn't have pulled his hand out, it would continue trying to resume the cycle by pushing forward like an inch at a time. And it fucking obliterated this goddamn banana. It just dragged it deeper and deeper. It just never ended. Motherfuck, bro. This is the scariest thing. I couldn't imagine finding out you have a fucking cat, like, get in. I don't even know how this thing does whatever it's even supposed to do that well. But it's fucking really good as a trap. God damn.
Once I had finished these initial tests, I connected it to the Tuya Smart app to see if there were any firmware updates.
I can't believe this Chinese company ripped off our beloved Tesla Cybertruck engineering. Oh my God.
And yeah, there was one. So I installed it, and amazingly, the sensor started to work properly.
Not a defense, but sharp edges are a sign of straight from mold mass production. I'm not surprised at all. I won't bother rewinding it, but I could see that thin layer from the fucking mold that didn't get sanded or trimmed off.
Including the pinch detector. So, were all my tests a complete waste of time? And is design safe? Well, no. My machine was sent to me without the new firmware, and there was nowhere any documentation of the manual and no message from the seller to tell me to make sure that I keep the firmware up to date and to keep checking through the app. In fact, the manual didn't have any safety instructions whatsoever. Didn't even say that there is a minimum wait before you should turn on automatic cycling. To put your own branding on a generic machine, you generally need to buy a minimum of 1,000 units. With at least a dozen machines sold under different names of similar designs, including the AMS toy, that means there's tens of thousands of these potential deaths.
I like that he's also starting up a mini, like a TikTok channel, like, will it cut? Like, will this dog shit fucking kitty litter recycler machine that the cat guillotine, will the cat guillotine a bread? Will the cat guillotine a Tickle Me Elmo doll? Will the cat guillotine a banana? Like, we just gotta throw some Subway surfers underneath this, and we've really just kind of re-achieved fucking of Kismet.
Traps out there, maybe even more, and with a lot of them already being used in people's homes. From my experience in my Facebook group, I know that
the power's coming from the crazy large gear. It is a huge gear. If you guys didn't see it, if you're like into the mechanics of it and you're coming in late, this entire right side of this thing has a very high torque, big plastic gear. It's basically the entire side of this this ball is one really, really massive gear printed into the plastic of it, which means that even if this is a smaller drive gear down here, you're getting a lot of torque. You're getting a fucking lot of torque into here. If the gear down here is also big, that's maybe not great. I think it should be a smaller gear overall. I think if I had to design something like this, I wouldn't even care about a sensor. I would just have a slip gear. You know what I mean? Just a gear made out of metal that has if you're actually an engineer, you probably know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. But basically, the gear teeth are on springs, right? So they're not supposed to, the gear is never supposed to go over a certain torque level or a certain pressure level. So if it hits like a fucking half a pound of pressure, the gear will start clicking, clack, instead of actually continuing to move. They're usually gears that instead of like, that's a hard gear, that's a basic gear, you know, it's fucking square to square, right? So you have maximum torque transfer. These are the kind that are like, they're like angular like that. And so when it goes, it'll fucking plop and clap. Instead of moving it, if this gets stuck, you know, normally you're moving, but if it gets stuck, you can also do it by, instead of changing the gear, you can put a spring underneath it. Or wherever the force will be redirected. And so if that spring gets hit, it'll start chuck, 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 instead of pushing it, because if that pressure gets too high on the gear, it'll fucking pop down or whatever. Torque wrench, yes, torque wrenches. Torque wrenches do that. Torque wrenches are fucking wizard science.
Many people don't bother with apps, which means if they have one of these, then they won't have the safer firmware. Are the sellers on Amazon, Wayfair, and AliExpress contacting people who've bought them to tell them that they must update the firmware?
Strong motor because cat litter has weight, but this is bad. I mean, it's not... You're not moving the whole cat litter. That's the kind of the thing. You're using rotational energy to move underneath it. So you're not really rotating the cat litter. You shouldn't be. The design should be such that when it's down, the cat litter has like the minimal amount of like shear friction to like stay in place. You know what I mean? So you don't have to lift the cat litter. So it doesn't have to be that strong. You just have to rotate the barrel with the cat litter in it. You know what I mean? As opposed to lifting enough enough energy to lift a pound of energy, or whatever the weight. You just have to be able to slide underneath a pound of weight, which is a considerably different amount. Especially when you're just using rotational energy in a low friction barrel. It should be way fucking easier. Like this thing is a mimic, bro. Facts. Tyler, snowblowers literally designed to shear their drive bolt if they get caught for the safety of the user of the motor. Okay, am I getting the gears backwards from Balancija? No, Tyler. Small input gear and big output gear equal big torque. If the input gear is also, then the torque is more equalized. Okay. Yes. I'm bad at that. That is not mechanical science. Mechanical physics is not my strong suit. I have a little bit of knowledge of it, but I am asking you all. I am reaching out. Tell me if that gear type makes sense.
Well, if this was a single machine sold by a well-known brand, I'm sure they would. But with all these different random companies, it's...
So the firmware update isn't even a good fix like mentions. Most people won't get it, but a new firmware update can be real. All the sensors just as easy, they can fix it. Yeah, the firmware update issue is kind of dumb. I don't want to connect the updating firmware aspect of modern society is stupid as shit a lot of the times. I can understand if it's something like this that has to like work with a runtime environment or whatever the hell you call it. Like my mouse has to readjust to the new computer settings and stuff and how like pixels are displayed on the screen. That's fine. This is an extremely simple. This entire machine can be replicated purely mechanically is the crazy part. Like we were talking about like a torque wrench and stuff. Like just better overall mechanical design will let you still do this, and you don't even have to have a fucking circuit in it or a computer in it to do anything other than maybe count the time and be programmable to some degree. But like even that you could do with fucking you could do with a lot of analog stuff. I think that's like an issue. And if you're a tech person out there, this like over reliance on programming for situations that just good mechanical design already solve. Like no amount of programming is going to get you past the fucking guillotine entry point. No amount of programming is going to get you past the fact that there's like physical issues that the buttons on the side can't fix if an error occurs. You know what I mean? But like we've already had like gears are a known quantity. You know what I mean? We're pretty past like the mastery of clockwork as a world society. And so it just seems like a better overall understanding of that shit will get you there. And I think that's really what this is this you're just drumming up a design and sending it out as soon as possible. More than likely, this is just the absolute cheapest way to print every piece that's there and the most efficient way to just get this thing put together as quickly as possible. And this shouldn't require anything bigger than a basic timer, control, and a motor. Yeah, like literally. But I think that's the issue with the drop shipper Amazon fucking finance bro model of making stuff is that you see something that solves a problem and then you try to replicate it as cheap as humanly possible in places where there's no regulation or oversight to make sure that it's okay. And like this needs to be buttoned up. I mean, I'm not even describing a new problem. The second I started saying that out loud, I'm like, okay, yeah. So we're basically, this is just Upton Sinclair's The Jungle, but for fucking cat boxes instead of fucking the meat processing industry. It just, there needs to be regulation and there needs to be oversight. It has to happen. It has to happen because there's no reason to permit somebody to sell a product where user harm mitigation is on the other side of their sales. User harm mitigation should be pre-sale. It should be something that we just figure out ahead of time and basically already have with a lot of different issues. If they sold this thing in America, and we're getting kind of a nerd to it, that like, oh, you bought cheap plastic shit offline, that's fine. It is what it is. It's cool, based, nice for you. But it killed something in your house. So, I guess it's kind of on you for buying it. I think we need to be way more proactive because if this is an American product created by an American company, People would be outside the offices of the place that sold this. They would go to the fucking pet store that sold this and set the fucking thing on fire. People lose their minds about dead animals. They lose their fucking minds about them. Rightfully so. And the thing is like, this is bad. The other issue too is that you're bypassing good products by making shit products more readily available and then flooding the shop front, the digital shop front of Amazon with them. Kind of like this guy saw, there was like 89 different versions of this, and we're permitting market flooding of inferior, dangerous products, which does two things. It endangers the consumer, and it also removes adequate competition with better products, because you're not competing based on the product. You're competing based on your ability to manipulate the marketing strategy, which is not good. It's not even good capitalism. It's bad capitalism. Even like if you're supposed to be a capitalist and you care about free market, exchange, this is market manipulation. Is flooding the shop front, the digital shop front, with poor products and choking people that make good products out of it, because they're not focused on high intensity, high volume marketing. They're focused on making a good product instead. And that's why you need these regulations and these catches. It's basically to prevent people from trying to metagame good products out of the market in order to sell this fucking cheap knockoff bullshit that literally kills stuff. Like, this is just consumer protection 101. And it's also producer protection 101. Like, anybody that wants to get into making stuff and selling stuff, like, shouldn't be fucking... This is unacceptable. Like, absolutely fucking insane.
Doubtful. I just really hope that they are. Then there's just how good are the sensors? How reliable are they? Sensors fail, especially cheap sensors. And looking at the build quality of this, I highly doubt the sensors are high quality. So if the sensors stop working, then you still have this incredible...
Dude, stop doing that!
...of the opening closing off with no way to escape. Even if it didn't have these safety issues, it's a...
Talk about the most human experience. The most human thing I have seen in days now is this man getting his hand caught in a machine, knowing now that he can get his hand out of it, and intentionally getting it caught in the machine again. I love this guy. That is the most human thing I've ever seen in my life. He just went, he's like, okay, oh fuck. The first time he's all panicked and stuff. The second time he's like, I'm fucking ready for it. My man's treating some fucking Alibaba dropshipper like a fucking Ben Gesserit, and just like, fear is the little death. It is the mind slayer. Sticking his fucking hand into the goddamn cat box.
Bad machine that's badly made. It doesn't have a litter mat inside it, just bare plastic. A rotating machine needs to have a non-stick litter mat liner so that when it cycles, it drops in the middle to dislodge clumps. Without one, urine clumps will just stick to the plastic. It won't be pleasant. About a week ago, Carly J messaged me in the TikTok app in reply to one of my comments on her videos. We had quite a few conversations, and she told me what happened, why she had removed the videos. And I told her that everything is off the record, it's just for my research, but she said she was happy for me to use anything, and she sent me photos and a video of her beloved Moshi. Amsoy had given a financial settlement to delete the videos and the Amazon review. As part of the settlement, Amsoy would remove the machine from sale. Her husband was unable to delete the Amazon review, so he changed it to a positive one. I'm absolutely not judging her for taking the settlement. I don't know how much she received. She did say that it wasn't much, but she did it under the assurance that Amsoy would remove their product from Amazon. The thing is, she didn't realise that it's sold under so many different names and different variations of the same design. Removing the Amsoy version, it's going to make a very little difference.
And this is the other issue, and this is why you shouldn't buy stuff from Amazon or any Chinese. Literally, don't buy anything from any Chinese company that doesn't have a legal American brick and mortar distribution service. Basically, this is what is called a recall. What he's describing is what we normally call a recall. You guys have heard of a recall? You get car recalls because there's mass amounts of products sold, right? In like the auto industry, for instance, sometimes the airbag. Talk about airbags. The airbag in a car might actually be the same type of airbag that's sold to 4 or 5 different car manufacturers and put in about like 16 different models of car, because it's just it's a product, right? Somebody specializes in making airbags. They print it while they're making it at the factory with a Mitsubishi logo or a Honda logo. But also certain types of products need so much oversight that it's better to manufacture them individually and then instead of as part of the overall assembly process for something, right? So like obviously Honda is probably not making all of Honda's screws. If I'm incorrect about this, please feel free to correct me. But Honda is pressing the body plates. Honda is, they're cutting and stitching maybe the seat material. Honda is assembling. Honda is maybe even like purpose building their lines and stuff in a certain kind of way, but they still have to buy like your specific screw, a little bolt and nut assembly that attaches two pieces of metal in certain areas that's required to withstand certain levels of shear strength in an accident. An accident happens and people find out that that little screw is not withstanding the amount of shear damage that's happening to it. You can initiate a recall because it's dangerous. Oh, fuck, there's a dangerous product in here. We found out that this had a few times this thing failed under shear strength. It's not catastrophic, but it needs to be recalled. We can just take these things out, put in higher quality ones, and then going into the future, you have to put a higher quality one in too. With this product, you can't do a recall, and Amazon won't force one. You need it. You desperately need it. This is a single part that's being remanufactured and resold, putting little tiny details on it under the guise of a series of different companies. Regulation has already dealt with this in America, but China doesn't care. China will fucking murder millions for $1. They're like us, but worse. I'm not shitting you. They're just fucking, they just took the American model under Deng and went fucking bonkers with it. They're crazy as fuck. They don't give a shit about human life. And so you can't initiate a recall. You can't do it because there's no one to recall it from. Amazon specifically would have to start actually monitoring who is and who isn't selling on their platform in a way more strict way than they are now. And they would have to start banning the sale of products from certain markets. You're like, well, that seems crazy. Europe does it all the time. Europeans are based for this. The EU is one of the best legislative bodies that have ever existed solely for forcing Apple to stop making new types of charging cable. That's it. That's a basic type of consumer protection. Eliminating the overall amount of cables you need to operate things that are still just doing the exact same stuff. You know what I mean? That's why you can't try to force people to buy a specialty socket for the electric socket in your wall. It's because of regulations. You're like, no, we're not fucking letting everybody design their own individual socket. This one's flawed. It's imperfect, but it's the one that we're going to fucking use, and everyone's on the same you're all on the same program, right? Like, okay, fine, yeah. It's the same for these data transfer cables and stuff. They all do the same thing. They transmit a whatever, like 1.4 amp electrical signal, you know what I mean, to charge the thing, and then a standard USB accompaniment of wires in order to connect on the inside to the computer and then to the thing. So having a series of different cables and you're confused about which one goes where and how, it just builds up a mass of unnecessary, wasteful purchases and then garbage. Bad, right? The countries can restrict what sort of products are sold in their country, and even down to the base, like the manufacturing standards for it. This is what tariffs should actually be for, right? We should have insane tariffs on drop shipping shit. We should fucking be shutting down that entire fucking market economically, because if we can't monitor what's going on, it's not good. Plus, I shouldn't have random companies in India mass selling products manufactured in China that have no oversight on Earth in America. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be doing it to other people. They shouldn't be doing it to us. No one should be able to do this. It needs to be shut down because it will kill cats and it will kill children and it will kill you eventually. Like, motherfuckers, you're all going to start buying crazy stuff. People see this, they don't consider the issues at hand of like how important consumer protections are, because they get so fucking like in their feelings about like, you know, a child's understanding of how market forces work. But it's better for the market. You know what I mean? Like there's no value in selling cheaper products that cause harm to workers and or their pets. It increases the overall misery in the world, and there's just better products. But the reason that the product is succeeding isn't because the product is better than the other product. It's because the marketing is better, or because you're locking people out of markets by mass printing dog shit and then literally pushing it in front of everybody for slightly cheaper. That's market manipulation. Like, bog fucking standard market manipulation is literally just the same way to describe it in a better sense. Imagine you're like, hey, everybody, I have my new fucking ceramic coaster thing. Boom, if you got it, haunt it. You know, this is mine. It works. It's made out of ceramic and it's never killed anybody. And you're like talking. And then fucking 7 people, right, walk up behind you or beside you, start screaming through megaphones, and they start just offering a piece of paper with the same print on it. And they're like, I have now the best coaster that you could ever buy. Buy this coaster. It is the best coaster. They're all screaming the same thing again and again and again. Now you have to get through this screaming horde of people that are all using the same knockoff dog shit product, and people are buying it because some of them can't even find their way to the good stuff. They don't even know how to shop at that level. And like putting this onus on the consumer and on the fucking producer is just saying, it's basically victim blaming in a way that benefits nobody. It's like, well, if you wanted to sell your product, you should have been better at anything other than designing the best product. Is just antithetical to, first off, Americanism in my mind, but also just antithetical to good business. It's antithetical to like whatever the real version of capitalism that people try to fucking pretend is out there is. It's not making the market better through competition. It's actually making the market worse through competition, because the competition's, first off, intentionally fucking rigged and unregulated. It's like saying like, oh yeah, let's go play baseball. Everyone can bring a gun if you can afford one, and you can use it whenever you feel like on the basketball court. So you're just like running around. You're like, oh man, I'm really good at layups, but I didn't bring I didn't bring my Springfield today so that I could fucking like shoot the center guard, and now I'm bleeding out of my stomach. And everyone's like, well, if you cared about baseball, you know, we're using competition to try to find out who's the best at basketball. We're not playing basketball anymore. It was a fucking shootout.
Also told me about a lady called Trish who messaged her to say that her cat had also been killed by the Ams toy machine, and she put me in touch with her. Trish's kitten Charlie was 3 months old and over the minimum weight that the manual states a cat should be before turning on autocycling. On the 19th of July, Trish got a video call from her 13-year-old daughter frantically telling her that Charlie's neck was caught in the closed opening. When her daughter showed her on the phone camera, she could see that it was already too late. Because she was far away at the time, Trish called the non-emergency police phone number, and an officer came round, had her daughter wait outside, and freed poor Charlie, placing his lifeless body on the bed. He was a rescue kitten and had been in his forever home for just 4 weeks before his life was horrifically cut short. Trish also shared with me a review on the now deleted Ams toy Amazon listing about a cat that had also gotten stuck in the opening.
Dude, I do not want to read fucking
rescue her in
Ayn
time.
Rand.
It doesn't end there. There was another Facebook post in my Facebook group that shared this story about 5 months.
How about this is the thing. If you guys give me $500 in donos minimum before the end of this stream, I will read Atlas Shrugged or The Fountainhead, whichever one gets more votes. I'm putting it that high because I don't want to do it. And that I hope that disincentivizes you from asking.
Month-old kitten that was found suffocated in the waste drawer. I wasn't able to contact the person who posted this originally or the owner of the cat to confirm any of this. Then it's entirely plausible that a kitten could have ended up in the waste bin and suffocated. It's a horrible thought. I tried to contact Ams Toy to get a statement, but their online presence is very minimal, and especially now that the Amazon listings are gone. I did find their YouTube channel, so I left a comment asking if they could get in touch with me. They didn't reply or email me. Instead, they deleted my comment. Deleting seems to be their way of dealing with things. If you own an Ams Toy or any other similar design machines, then please update the firmware. Make sure you test it like I have in this video. Believe if you can update the firmware, you should use it anymore. I hope this video can help get all of them removed from sale everywhere and get to the people who already have them to warn them. Amazon and Wayfair must act and act fast.
I don't want to read the John Gold
the ones
speech.
On eBay and AliExpress will be a lot harder to stop being sold, but I hope they are. I couldn't return the dangerous machine to AliExpress for a refund. Despite the listing stating free returns, they insisted that I pay for the return shipping. I got some quotes, sent it back to China, and because it's so big and so heavy, the very cheapest that I could find was £236, and my refund would be £240. So I sent it back, I'd get £4 back. Great. So yeah, don't buy from AliExpress, don't buy these generic machines, don't buy these brands which have all these random names.
Bro, that's the craziest part at the end. That he tried to send it back and they charged him fucking 250 quid. They charged me 250 quid to send it back. Who am I, Marco Polo, walking down the fucking Silk Road? Who's taking it back? 250 quid. That's a lot of money for the thing to literally just get dropped in a fucking dumpster in fucking Shanghai. I don't know, fucking goddamn, can't remember any of the fucking, I can't remember any of the goddamn Chinese cities are. Beijing.
Recognized brands, ideally with a history of making self-cleaning automatic litter boxes. And if they don't have a history, at least they have made other electronic cat products and not just some startup. And I would also be careful about anything on Indiegogo because these are beta machines and you are going to be testing them. I'd always recommend waiting at least a year after a machine's been out to let it all settle in and be much better. Do your research, check out reviews. There's lots of them out there, but you can't trust a lot of them, especially the Amazon ones. A lot of them are fake. There's ones which have been paid for in exchange for the product. And obviously YouTube reviews, there's mine, and those are incredibly thorough, and I completely stand by them, so check those out. There are other videos on YouTube. Some of them are very good, but some of them aren't, especially the ones which say they're reviews, but they've clearly been...
And if the Litter Robot 4 detects any issues with any sensors, then it will tell you through the app and its light display on the front. And it won't auto-cycle.
This is the most sensible one I've seen. Like, you can get in and out. Do the cats like being in a fucking dark enclosure to shit? Like, are they chill with that?
They are packed with safety features, entry sensors, weight detection, pinch detectors, and even sensors in the waste bin to detect movement.
Like, do you remember what I was talking about? Like, the design? I didn't even see the inside of these before. Remember I told you, all you need to do is make sure that the interior is set up so that it'll, whatever. And then look at the fucking engineering that's gone into shaping the mold form for the back of this. Look how fucking, it's got all sorts of stuff. They did all the math. You know what I mean? They were in AutoCAD. Just clicking fucking pixels, putting this together.
Cleaning litter boxes, and they are packed with safety features, entry sensors, weight detection, pinch detectors, and even sensors in the waste bin to detect movement. And if the Litter Robot 4 detects any issues with any sensors, then it will tell you through the app and its light display on the front. And it won't auto-cycle until the issue is resolved. Many of the newer machines have the waste bin inside the cylinder, which means there's no openings, which makes them super safe. The downside is having the waste bin there is you don't have any waste bin fall detectors, and the bins tend to be really quite small. My favourite budget machine is now the new Fairy Tale, which is made by UB Tech, who also make my previous favourite, the Aerobo, otherwise known as the Meowwant SC01. It's super safe, pretty nice size inside, and the waste compartment is a bit bigger than the others, although there's still no bin fall sensor. I will be covering this in a review as soon as I can, along with my new Litter Robot 4 review, which will cover my 2.5 years of using them, as well as the surprisingly great new litter auto-refilling litter hopper accessory. If any...
Yeah, like just the amount of thought that clearly went into this thing. That's the issue, is that all of those fucking sales that are going to that inferior product are money that are not going to people that are making stuff like this, which will drive down the price of these bigger units. You know what I'm saying? Like, if like the one safe car on Earth cost $10,000 and people started selling $9,000 beater piece of shit like that, like death trap cars, and they were the ones that were filling all of the dealerships. You can only get the death trap cars at the dealerships. They're $9,000. They had to go one state over to get the fucking $10,000 car, and it was on a premium because there's not that many, marked up to like $13K. You're like, these cars are too damn expensive. They're $13K to compare to $9K because you don't know how the economy works. You don't know anything about economics. Your mind will go, oh, what the and then you all these other places, oh man, the cost of this dog shit thing is going down. But they just flooded the dealerships with it in this case. It's the same thing. And so now like the one good car is like $18,000 just because like we can only make so many of them. They're popular, but like, you know, we're not the most popular car in the market for literally no reason other than all these dealerships are getting now I'm getting into actual dealership. If you guys didn't know this, actual dealership shit. Dealerships get paid to fucking put certain kind of cars up front. They'll get a little of this because dealerships where you get a car in America. People rarely understand that you could actually have a car purchased and delivered, but people don't want to do that anyway because they want to fucking drive the goddamn thing first. They'll get fucking cars and be like, yeah, we got to put these up front. And that even floods the used car market. So now you're like, oh man, isn't that a good car? I see them everywhere. And they're like, no, it's fucking, we just got fucking paid to pump these fucking things out and we got to sell them at a really good markup because we got to buy them for super cheap. And now they're fucking everywhere. And everyone's like, oh, I know about these cars. It's fucking market manipulation. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. But like for these things specifically, there's absolutely no restrictions. It's not like you have to have a fucking car lot and people can find you at the car lot. You know what I mean? And beat your ass because you sold them a fucking beater. Like this guy, whoever fucking sold this thing is in some other country. Even if they're in America, you can't fucking find them. They have no actual real business license that you can fucking backtrace and find out what fucking dog little office they live in fucking Sacramento or something and go through a fucking egg through their goddamn window. The guy bought that piece of shit. I'm gonna turn all this off. That guy bought that fucking piece of shit and then fucking even just to send it back for a refund, the literal death trap machine, they basically gave him back $4 because they made him pay for the fucking return shipping. That's insane. It's psychotic. Like this is horrible. This is horrible all around. God.
Hope you enjoyed your time on the West Side.